Today's Patreon shout-out comes to you with thanks for Kerry Driver. Ognis up against Nicole Bolas the Ravager with a 3-lander, a tutor. Can go for some ramp on turn 2. So yeah, I think we keep this. Played out a command tower on turn 1. Our opponent goes for a tap land, so I think we can just go for the Sol Ring here. No need for the Mana Crypt. And that allows us to go for the Tricycle land with the Marsh Flats as well. The Grixis Tricycle land coming down for our opponent as well, so I think we're going to be going for Goldspan Dragon on our turn. Draw into a Reanimate, which could go on the Goldspan Dragon. It's really in there to cheat our Ognis. Cheat some command attacks on that. Our Dragon comes down straight away, so swing in with that immediately and start ramping ahead even further. We can now hold up Plumb the Forbidden if our opponent has any spot removal for the dragon. And of course they do, they have a Chaos Warp, so we make another treasure. Might as well go for Plumb the Forbidden here. Our treasures do tap for double mana thanks to the dragon of course. Sacrifice that, and we'll draw 2 and lose 2 at instant speed. So that gets us into another land, a Fervent Champion as well. Okay, and a Questing Beast as well. So drop the land, we'll play out the Ognis. Then it is black mana into Reanimate on the dragon. We lose 5 life to that, and then we'll get down this Fervent Champion as well. Yeah, we'll get down the Fervent Champion as well because it just instantly replaces itself with another treasure. All of these creatures have haste of course, so Fervent Champion triggering doesn't matter. We get an untapped treasure from the Goldspan Dragon and then 3 tapped ones from Ognis. And our opponent really needs to be looking towards a board wipe here, which I've no doubt they're going to have plenty of in the deck. What do we discard there? I think we force them to recast their commander and we'll keep hold of the Bedevil, so Questing Beast can go down. Just more mana for us, annoyingly. Do we bluff with the Arcane Signet? I think we do in this scenario. So Bedevil onto their commander so that we can keep swinging. Alright, and they scoop to that with 6 cards in hand. That's really surprising. We're actually nowhere near beating them yet. We've got another good few turns to go through. And yeah, wasn't really drawing into a whole lot of anything, to be honest. So if they bothered to stick that out, they may well have had us. Up against Sisay Weatherlight Captain now, very strong commander. We've got an excellent card in Amulet of Vigour. Obviously the fast mana and a haste creature as well. We will certainly keep this one. Homeward Path from our opponent, so the 5 colour deck doesn't have any colours yet, which is obviously great for us. Draw into another land, we'll get down a Tricycle land with the Marsh Flats. No need to show our opponent that we've got fast mana yet. And there we go, straight into colours. They've got Azorius Signet and a red land here as well. Get down at the Tricycle land in response. Alright, Polluted Delta, so yeah, we can go Mana Crypt into Amulet of Vigour and start getting down shocks from these fetches. Get down a red source here, I think, in Blood Crypt. And then we don't pay the 2 life, but Amulet of Vigour will have things coming untapped, which is mainly for the treasures, of course. Play the Fervent Champion, and then we'll peck them for 1 and pass over. A Golgari Signet now, and they play a Bojuka Bog, exiling our lands, not really bothered about that. I'm guessing they don't have Abrupt Decay because they likely would have gone for the Mana Crypt. They might have Assassin's Trophy though. We draw into a Blasphemous Act. So we just get down our commander here and go straight through to combat. Doesn't look like our opponent has any removal for us, so we do get the 2 untapped treasures from the Ognis. Untapped thanks to the Amulet of Vigour. And of course they have Oko, Thief of Crowns. So might be that we have to blow up our own Blasphemous Act, or use our own Blasphemous Act in order to blow up our commander. Because the dreaded Oko has... yeah, that's really going to mess us up. Okay, Loyal Apprentice. We do control our commander, so we can get some hasty creatures down still. Don't know if I want to waste Loyal Apprentice, though, if we're going to blow up the board. So we'll go through to combat, deal some damage to Oko. Knock Oko down to 1. Of course, Oko has a +2 as well, annoyingly, so it might be that we have to go for Loyal Apprentice next turn to try and get through to that. Seeing as how we're being forced to take off a turn, we might as well go for the Revel in Riches. Might be relevant this game. Our opponent making consistent land drops. We've seen a Creeping Tar Pit enter play now. They play Arid Mesa this turn. Yeah, looks like it's a Walker's deck, Super Friends, and aggro players' worst nightmare. Aggro players are, fighting an uphill battle against players with 40 life anyway, because we are in the multiplayer room here, just against one opponent, which means we use the multiplayer rules and ban list, and they start at 40 life, and that's just 10 more life for us to get through. So add Planeswalkers to the mix, and it's really difficult. Each opponent discards a card you draw. It'll have to be a land, unfortunately. They get down their Sisay Weatherlight Captain, so we can force them to block our Ognis and give it back to us, because we'll threaten the Kaya with that. So maybe no need to go for the Blasphemous Act. They plussed on Oko to make a food, by the way, so that's up to 3 loyalty. Alright, a Lightning Bolt straight onto the Oko should be fine. We won't show our hand just yet, though. Let's play out the Loyal Apprentice. And then at the beginning of combat, we'll make a Hasty Thopter. Then threaten the Oko with Ognis. Go after Kaya with the Thopter token. And yeah, we're just in a tricky spot. We can, if they decide to block the Ognis with Sisay, then we could Lightning Bolt Sisay. They trade each other, but then they keep hold of the Oko. So yeah, I don't really see what we're going to do here this game, in all honesty. Alright, so blocking with Sisay, they obviously want to keep their Oko, giving us back our Ognis at least. And we can't get rid of enough legendary permanents here, annoyingly. So we'll just have to get rid of Oko while we've got the chance with Lightning Bolt. In hindsight, what we could have done there is turned everything in sideways at Kaya, hopefully got rid of the Kaya, hopefully they block Ognis with the Sisay. But I think if we turned everything in sideways, I would have blocked this over the Ognis, and then we would have been in a much different spot. So yeah, maybe still could have got rid of both Walkers regardless there. Maybe had to just be more aggressive and more willing to lose things, but yeah, we're really on an uphill battle here, like I said, regardless. Lurrus of the Dream Den just allows them to replay stuff out of the bin, and they can still activate their Sisay Weatherlight Captain, a 4/4 at the moment. That is Oath of Kaya. 3 damage to any target, you gain 3 life. And yeah, it does go on the Loyal Apprentice. The other Kaya exiles herself. And now it's a 4/4 Sisay swinging in towards us, so I think it is Blasphemous Act after all that. Okay, a Callion. Yeah, the buff on our commander could be relevant. Might as well deal a point of damage to our opponent. And then play the Blasphemous Act. That costs us 5 mana. We do get some Revel in Riches treasure tokens at least. Also getting rid of the Lurrus is really good. And then we'll spend a mana to get out the Kalane, because it will enter with a treasure token anyway, so it's effectively free in a way, with regards to the treasure token count anyway. Kaya enters the battlefield once again. It is a Brainstorm from our opponent. I think that was a -2 there. Yeah, they just wanted to draw a card with the Ghost Assassin. There we see Teferi Time Raveler. So there goes the instance on our opponent's turn. Oath of Kaya being cast once again. They must have bounced it with Teferi. Now is a Kasmina Enigma Sage. So now we've got 3 Planeswalkers to deal with, which isn't happening. Alright, a Vamp Tutor. Could go for a Necropotence with that. So we'll deal with the Kaya that can exile our stuff. Oath of Kaya going to deal 2 damage to us. The treasure comes in untapped thanks to Amulet of Vigor. And then we can only do instants as sorceries, so we'll go for Vamp Tutor here. I think I would have done that anyway, because I don't want our opponent to be able to counter it if we do it on their turn. So grab ourselves a Necropotence. Sisay coming into play once again as a 6/6. I dare say they can just activate it straight away. They do, and get down an Oath of Teferi, so they've got double the loyalty abilities now. Bouncing, was that the Oath of Kaya back to their hand? Scry 1 with Baby Teferi. Scry 1 with Kasmina as well. And then Teferi's made it so they can cast sorceries at instant speed. That is an Oath of Kaya, 3 damage to our commander. Not sure if they activated the Kasmina again actually. Maybe just did a Scry again. Alright, so drawing into the Necropotence, this is the best we can do here, so we'll get that down straight away, sink 7 life into it, and of course just draw into a heap of mana. So Yeah, that makes me feel a bit better. We were never ever going to win this one. Scry from the Casmina. Return up to one target artifact, creature and or enchantment to its owner's hand. The commander is on 6/6 at the minute, probably going to be bigger. Let's just put a few more triggers on the stack from this. They'll actually allow us to draw a card next turn by bouncing the Necropotents. So I'll just put 3 life into that for now. 6 damage from Sisay. Now an Oath of Gideon, making a couple of core allies. Activating Sisay again. We see Ashiok Dreamrender, so exiling our bin. Casmina search for an instant or sorcery that shares a colour with it. And they have searched up a Destructive Revelry. So destroy an artifact or enchantment, and it is the Amulet of Vigour that they've gone for. Then they play out a Chromatic Lantern, and Teferi, once again allowing them to play sorceries at instant speed. We get Bolted by Crypt, going down to 6. There we see an Abrade. So yeah, that's definitely not going to help us. Just play the Cavern of Souls. And why don't we, for the fun of it, go for the Wheel. They've got 2 cards in hand, but they can fish out anything they want with this anyway, so I don't think it matters refilling their hand. Okay, gets us into a Sol Ring. Insurrection. That would be interesting. Yeah, that would be funny actually. If we could take the Sisay away from them, we could actually activate it thanks to the treasures, but doubt we'd get much out of it. So drop ourselves a Sol Ring. Play the Goldspan Dragon. We can swing through and whack Teferi. That will make us a treasure token as well. Kaya will deal 2 damage to us. And then treasures tap for 2, so we'll go for the Glinthorn Buccaneer. That can just be, hopefully, a blocker for us. And I think it's holding up Baleful Mastery. Maybe we just blow up the commander now. Yeah, let's go for it now. They've got a full grip. So I'll try and hold on to as many treasures as possible. We'll just do it for the 2 mana and allow them to draw up to 8. They will have 9 cards in hand at the beginning of their turn. We draw 3 cards at the end of the turn thanks to the Necropotents. That is a Boseiju. Yeah, could go for the Boseiju onto their Chromatic Lantern now, because that's really fixing their colours at the moment. I mean, I think their colours are pretty good anyway. Ashiok exiling our graveyard again. Then exiling the graveyard again. So down comes Sisay Weatherlight Captain again. They have not held up green mana. They can float it in response here, annoyingly. Maybe they won't think to do that. We deal 1 damage to each opponent thanks to Glinthorn Buccaneer. We do discard the Boseiju when we activate this ability. Okay, they don't float green mana. Oh, but they can actually search for it with Boseiju anyway, can't they? Yeah. Alright, they don't. That is a Blood Crypt. Maybe I'm missing something here. Maybe they haven't dropped a land yet. Okay, that is a Narset Parter of the Veils they decided to cast, revealing no non-creature cards to us. So we managed to survive another turn, surprisingly. Once again getting bolted by Mana Crypt. There is an Assassin's Trophy, can fix their green mana, and then they'll be able to activate Sisay. I think they can do this whenever they want. Yeah, it's not a sorcery speed ability. So we pretty much have to blow up Oath of Kaya here, because it's just going to keep chipping away at us. I mean, we've already lost this game anyway. We decided that a long time ago. But let's just play it out for the fun of it. We'll give them the green mana for their commander, and then they can activate it. I mean, maybe they've only got 1 of each basic in the deck. Nope, they don't. They do get the green mana. So we'll cast ourselves a really bad Insurrection. This will steal away their creatures, but nothing really in particular to do with them. They decide to sacrifice a food to gain 3 life. So gain control of all their stuff. We lose either way here because they go wide on us, so might as well just take out their walkers, turn in sideways with the Goldspan Dragon, and hopefully they don't waste too much time next turn. Of course, they've got the Homeward Path. I've completely forgot about that. That turn 1 Homeward Path becoming relevant. Luckily, we're just playing it out for the fun of it here anyway. So we are tapped out here. It looks as though our opponent is going to carry on with Sisay things though, so we'll just let them play this out. Kethis first of all. They did activate Kethis there, so now casting the Oath of Kaya and deciding to finish us off with the Lightning Helix, so it's good game to my opponent. Like I said, playing an aggro deck in the multiplayer room with that extra 10 life is an uphill battle anyway, but then you come up against Super Friends and the incredibly powerful Sisay, and yeah, you don't really stand much hope. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Be sure to consider donating on Patreon if you did enjoy this video. I'm tribalkai. Thank you for watching.